we're dealing with a situation of provocation. Like these little drone attacks, like what do you think they're actually trying to accomplish here? What have I been saying for the last couple of years that we're going to do? Start a big war. If Trump ends up being the nominee, which I believe that he will, they are going to burn this country to the fucking ground to keep him out. No rule of law whatsoever. Violent criminals being let out. Our currency isn't worth what it was 3 years ago when we had the best economy we ever had in the history of the United States. Yep. This is the communist playbook. These people are guilty of real bad shit. And what you don't realize is that not only are these people trying to cover up for the crimes that they committed, they're willing to destroy your household and your life to do so. Would you rather have tyranny and this corruption for the rest of your life? Or would you rather pull the Band-Aid off and rebuild shit the way it's supposed to be? What's up?
Hey.
Yeah, hey.
How's it going?
Nothing, man.
Dude.
I missed you this weekend.
Oh.
What'd you do all weekend?
Yeah.
Stuff?
Yeah, stuff.
I text you didn't text me back for the first time ever. I thought something happened to you.
Dude, listen, I've been riding my ass off.
Yeah.
Because I got this baby coming up and I know I'm gonna be locked down, can't go nowhere, right? So I'm trying to scratch all those itches right now.
You got a pretty badass Harley. Tell the Harley folks what you got.
It's a 21 Road Glide.
It's
Road Glide or no glide. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's just how I move. It's not for everybody.
And where do you fly on the back of that?
Huh?
That thing you fly on the back of your bike? That thing called the American flag?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So you see DJ going down the road, this big old black dude on this fucking badass Harley, this big ass American flag off the back.
People love it.
It's fucking awesome.
People love it.
They love it because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I get my riding in, so I've been, I think within the last 8 days, maybe 10 days, I've put about 3,000 miles.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Been scooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, been scooting. So it's been good though, man. It's been good, dude. There's nothing like riding a bike for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you.
You used to ride. You got some fucking
I rode forever.
bikes.
I've been riding dirt bikes since I was a little bitty kid.
Yeah.
I got brushed by a car in traffic in 2012. I got hit by the mirror of the car and I was making a right turn into traffic. And there was 2 lanes, and in the far lane, there was a car coming, but there wasn't a car coming in the close lane. So I merged out in, and right as I merged out, this car was behind this other car, and he like accelerated.
Yeah.
And fucking, bro, I went over to the side, and he hit my arm with his mirror. And bro, that was enough for me, man.
Yeah.
Like I have too much responsibility. I just have too much responsibility.
Yeah.
If something happens to me, it hurts a lot of people. So
no, for sure.
I still like to ride dirt bikes with the guys here, every once in a while. I'd like to do that more often. I haven't been able to do that the last couple of years because of my shoulder, but looking forward to getting back into that. I agree with you, dude. Like there's nothing more mentally, it's one of the most mentally refreshing experiences to go on a long bike ride.
Yeah. I've been doing, I've been like I said, I've been on it, just scratching that itch for me, man. It's been good though, man.
Yeah.
It's been good. So, it's CTI, but I feel like there's an obligation. We have to check in with some of our people on the left real quick.
Oh, do we?
For a second.
Gotta make sure they're okay, huh?
Well, yeah, I think it's important because they've been taking a lot of hits, right? Like, we've been seeing the people super gluing their hands to Starbucks counters, right?
Mm-hmm. Very effective.
Fucking up paintings and, art galleries.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure, they're not upsetting anyone. They're not making any enemies. They're not making any of the enemies that they don't want, like all the ones with guns.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. But in the most recent situation, this headline reads, "Cameraman takes out climate protesters who stormed the stage at dancing competition show." And we have the video. Now, there's 2 versions of this video. I'll show the first one, the original one. But then let's just play the video.
Dude,
he got. I don't know. I'm not a camera guy, but how heavy are those things? That's got to be more than 50 pounds.
Bro, it hit him with force.
Like, dude,
he had the banner. So for those of you that haven't seen this video, you're listening on audio.
Yeah.
So there's this Dancing with the Stars is what it looks like to me. And these people come out. And by the way, she's throwing something, polluting the environment.
Yeah, for sure.
You're violating your own code, lady. And this dude comes out, holds the banner in front of his face, and the camera with this giant boom like rams the dude and knocks him out. And it's amazing.
That's like that. It's like that reel that people make. You know, when they do like the college or the NFL football games, right? And they have the lineman fucking saying, you know, on Syracuse University. It's like the camera guy. They need to make one for him. That's a fucking linebacker play. Let's look at the edited video. They put some like WWE sound effects over it. Here's the edited version.
Ziggler makes it back to his feet. Is he going to deliver? Sweet!
Oh, from the top rope. Oh, dude, that's so good. That's so good. If you are watching or if you're listening, you have to go to the YouTube and watch
Dude,
this.
you gotta watch it.
This is funny as fuck. I'm trying to cut down on the words, man. You guys on YouTube are a bunch of pussies. All right. You guys fucking report me for all the bad words. All right. I'm trying, like, I'm just going to start hosting the stuff on my own page because, like,
YouTube gets you.
Yeah. And after you promised you wouldn't, bro, they begged us to put the show on the platform. Oh, we won't do that. We'll never do that.
Censorship
we're
here.
We're trying to open up a new chapter.
Right.
We actually want your kind of content. We would love to have it. And you guys turn my stuff off because I say the F word. Like, bro, are we really there? Like, we have a whole entire generation of kids thinking about cutting off their dicks, and you're mad at me because I say the F word?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
What the frick, guys?
Yeah. Welcome to mother freaking reality, dudes. Like, dude, come on. Let me do my stuff.
Yeah, right. Let me do the thing. I don't know. I thought this was hilarious, man.
It is hilarious, but it's also sad.
Yeah.
And you know what else it is? It's dangerous. Because, dude, these people are messing with the bull at this point.
Oh, man.
Right? Like, for 10, 15 years, dude, we've been dealing with this stuff. We've been having these people come in and ruin works of art that were created hundreds of years ago. We're having these people disrupt traffic, disrupt daily life, online bully people for having a different opinion because they were made to believe that they are the people of the majority by these social media networks who are taking direction from the FBI to do this. So they're propping these people up. And by the way, these people have a term. They're probably not aware of it, but in the books that the people they worship write, they actually call these people something. Do you know what they call them? What do they call them?
Useful idiots.
And they sure are. Okay. So, like, these people are now getting put in a position of a very dangerous position because, dude, they're disrupting the lives of regular people who just want to be left alone, who want to live a life, and people are connecting the dots. Okay. So people are starting to understand that the green movement is actually a front for communism. The average person of average intelligence is starting to understand this. And if you don't believe me and you don't think I'm telling the truth, go watch the film Agenda and then watch Agenda 2. Okay? Go read Karl Marx's book. Go read it. It talks about all these things. These people are being used to disrupt people's lives. And those people's lives who are being disrupted are connecting the dots with them and communist ideology. And so now they're understanding that a lot of the pain they're feeling in their life, the economy being bad, the migrant situation, the crime situation, the prices of the products in the economy, the value of their dollar being destroyed, their earning power being destroyed, okay, their jobs being taken by AI. These things they are recognizing as communism, and they are recognizing that these people who are basically the enforcers of the social movements of these programs are the actual threat. And by the way, these are the weakest people in society. They're also the least intelligent who think they're the most intelligent, and they're making the enemies of all the people who have all the guns. And make no mistake, just so we're clear, have you ever tried to talk to one of these people?
Oh, you can't talk to them.
Bro, you cannot. What do they do when you start cornering them? They scream,
Bro,
and they throw a temper tantrum, and they throw a fit.
Or they call you racist. Or,
yes, and we see this over and over again. We never see the right-wing people, okay, going to the left-wing campuses, creating all this quote-unquote violence that they claim to exist. They go there, and they say, This is why I think this. Tell me why I'm wrong. And they get shouted down and they get shit thrown on them or eggs thrown at them like Larry Elder did.
Mhm.
Okay, these people are fucking tyrants. And the mistake that the majority of the population of the world is making is that because these are regular, decent people that have empathy and care and understand that these people are just misled, you're trying to reason with them, and that's allowing them to inch their way into actual power. And if these people get to actual power who do not even listen to a word that you say and will not have a conversation with you at all, and they openly say this, and they call you all these things, racist, misogynist, domestic terrorist, they call you all this shit. Do you really think that if you allow these people to become more powerful, that they will not just kill you and think they did an amazing thing?
Right. They're not listening to you now. You think they're going to listen to you later?
Bro, these people, these kinds of people would have no problem with killing every single person that stands against them.
Yeah.
And that's why they cannot be tolerated any longer. This cannot be a passive thing where you just look the other way and take the high road anymore. When these people pull this shit, it's up to us to stop it.
Yeah.
When they say this shit and they bully people online, it's up to you to jump in and say, hey, no, fuck you. We're tired of your shit.
Well, I think that's the real thing, right? It's like, because for the last 10, 15 years, the majority of people, we've been all the things that they're, yelling at us to do, right? Be tolerant, love, accept, right? We've been doing those things, right? And all of their pushes, they've been met with no consequence, right? And what they're starting to see now is that they're starting to see more consequences for their outrageous actions, whether that, they're getting drug out of the street by their hair, or, a fucking 100-pound camera boom hits you in the fucking face, right? Like they're seeing these consequences, and that stuff's going to keep happening. It's going to start happening even more. And, hopefully it doesn't cross that threshold into, fucking extermination, and because, but again, like you said, they would have no problem doing it to us.
No, they wouldn't.
And
they openly say so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought we'd check in, do a quick temperature check over there, see how they're doing. And,
Well, it looks to me like they're having themselves a real nice shit show.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
I'd give that cameraman a fucking prize.
They're probably going to fire him.
Well, he can come work here. I need media people. I mean, real talk. If you're a great media person, you come here.
Yeah.
This guy included.
Yeah. Hey.
We know he ain't going to deal with no bullshit.
He doubles as security.
That's right. I'd get a boom, just let him run it.
Just guard the door. I don't care what you shoot. Just guard the door. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this, man. We got a lot to cover today, guys, on CTI. Remember, if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them linked there, or drop down in the YouTube description below. You can find them linked there as well. But with that being said,
dude, for real, answer us in the comments, dude. Are you guys not tired of this disruption? Are you not tired of having your peace disrupted? Are you not tired of just like living your own life and being the best you can, only to have it fucked with by these people who are highly misled? Like, real talk.
Who won't even have a conversation with you. They won't
even listen, bro. It's because once you tie your identity into something, which these people have, these people care about the environment. Oh, well, you don't really care about the environment like I care about the environment. I'm willing to do these things because I care so much about the environment, even though you're so stupid you don't believe it. Well, if we're stupid and we don't believe it, then go watch Agenda and watch Agenda 2 and explain it back to me. And then also explain this. Why, when the Statue of Liberty was erected, it was the water level the exact same as it is today? Why are all these tyrants that are pushing you and feeding you this global green agenda shit flying in private jets every single place they meet by the hundreds? Why are these people, these same people who are selling you this, why are they not doing the things that you're doing? Why are they not in the streets making a difference, quote unquote? Why are they buying 30, 40, $100 million pieces of property on Hawaii like these people do?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Why?
Martha's Vineyard.
Explain it to me. If the sea levels are rising and we're all in danger, then why would you spend $50 million of your own money to own a home on Martha's Vineyard or Hawaii or Florida like Nancy Pelosi? Why would they do that? Okay? Why would they fly around the world in private jets while you've got to buy some green food bullshit cricket stuff?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Enjoy
Especially
that
if the
cricket
world-
butter, peasant.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you guys are brainwashed into believing something that sounds very virtuous that isn't actually factually true.
It's not real.
It's not real, dude. It's not real. Oh, the environment, you're saying the environment is not real. Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what I'm saying. You guys have been fucking fooled, and they have a term for you in communism called useful idiots. And the more you play into this, the more you're actually quickening the downfall of your own family and your own friends and your own life.
Well, because what happens to those useful idiots after they get put in,
They
after
kill 'em.
communism comes in?
They kill them because communism depends on everybody producing. Okay. So these people are unable to produce because they don't have skills, which is why they're useful now. But once they're not useful and once these communists actually have power, they kill these people by the mass because they will not produce. These people somehow think that, like, oh, other people are going to have to do that work. Dude, listen, I can understand the heart of somebody who believes it. Like if this was real shit and it was like, okay, we're really going to fucking die, everybody would be with it. Do you guys not believe that? Like, you guys that believe this shit, do you not believe that every other person out there would not say, okay, well, we need to do something? The problem is there isn't enough evidence to show this, not real evidence. Are there things in the environment that are disruptive? Is there trash in the ocean? Yes. Is there pollution that happens that shouldn't happen? Yes. Are there things that need to be done to protect the environment? Absolutely. We all agree with those things. But this idea that the world's going to end in 12 years because AOC says so, that's a lie that's been told for 50 fucking years to inch in communism step by step by step. And a lot of you guys are quickening your own demise because you want to be virtuous and right instead of checking your ego and saying, fuck, dude, I got played. And now it's putting you in a real dangerous position because you're going to continue to push this once everybody else has woken up to this, and it's going to get you hurt.
Yeah. I love her face. Look at the girl on the right.
Which one?
The one on the right. Look how serious she is.
I think the other one looks absurd. Like, I look at both of them and I'm like, dude, what are we fucking dealing with here? No new oil. Just stop oil.
No upcharge on vegan milk.
Do you ever notice how all the vegans look the same, bro? You know why?
Hungry.
You know why they look like that? Because it ain't fucking good for you, man.
No, it's not.
There's tons of science around that too, but let's not even talk about that shit. Y'all just say it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a moral vegan because you love animals, I fucking get it, dude. I love animals too. I really do. But I'm going to be as healthy as I can, and that requires animal protein.
Bro, it's like that sign. You know that sign that's like, it shows like all the animals. It's like a billboard, right? It's like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah. It's like
right about there.
Yeah. Right between the horse and the cow here in America. Okay.
Right about there.
If you go to Europe, it's between the horse and the dog.
Right.
And that's where it ends.
Well, you go to Ecuador, the dog
Okay, the
gets in
dog
there
is
too.
included. If you go to China, it goes all the way down to gerbil. Okay. So let's be fucking real. So, like, it depends on the culture.
Right. Here.
Right? But here,
right about there.
we don't eat horses and we don't eat dogs, but they eat horses in Europe.
They do.
I've had horse before.
No shit.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
What? Oh man.
It's not.
What's it taste like?
I don't know. It tastes like fucking every other meat.
It's just the red meat.
Yeah, it just tastes like, it's like kind of salty. It's like sandwich meat, bro. What?
Right about there.
for me, the line is clearly between cows and horses.
All right, yeah, there we go.
Like, I'm sorry for you horse people. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that. But if I was starving, I'd eat your horse.
Hey,
I wouldn't even think twice about it. If I was starving,
I'd eat you.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
line for me is probably just keeps going. Depends on how hungry
Situation
I am.
dictates,
Yeah.
guys.
I think there's a bubble around the dog.
Yeah, I think for sure. No, that's protected.
Yeah, I think we don't eat dogs.
Meow meow.
Yeah, but I'll eat a meow meow.
Sorry, Keith. Look, he's crying. Keith loves cats, man.
Are you a cat guy? Are you? And that makes a lot of
Tell.
sense.
I'm about to say you can tell. Fuck, man.
All right, look. I'll eat your fucking cat, bro. There's a bubble around dogs, bro.
Yeah, for sure. They're
We don't fuck
protected.
with dogs.
No, I can't fuck with dogs, man. Yeah.
Outside of that, if I had to, I'm probably going to eat it. Just being real, man.
Real shit.
Huh? I just got disinvited from everything at Keith's house ever again. I'm sorry, bro.
What'd you guys do? We went to Keith's house. I didn't get the invite. We know. We know, Andy.
He said you were going to make stir fry on his fucking cats. All right. Don't we got a show to do?
Yeah, onward with the show, guys.
Jesus, quit messing it up, Keith.
Yeah, fucking Keith. Meow, meow. Guys, if you want to see any of these articles, pictures, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them linked there or drop down in the YouTube description below. But with that being said, we got headline number one. Headline number one. Keith's going to go
Bro,
home
I'd
and just...
straight up eat a cat. I wouldn't even fucking think twice about it. I would. I'll put that shit on a fucking kebab, dude.
Oh, man.
I'm just being real. If I was that hungry, I wouldn't even think about it.
No, there's no... I mean, listen, when you're hungry...
I couldn't do a dog, though.
I've eaten worse shit.
Dude, I couldn't do a dog.
No.
I'd rather die.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to say I would avoid eating all of those animals because we live in an amazing country. We don't have to eat those animals.
Right.
Right? That's why it should be protected. So I don't have to eat your cat.
Right.
Keith.
Keith's going to go home and just hold his cats.
Hashtag protect your cat. Save America. All right.
All right. Guys, headline number one. Headline number one reads, Moscow wakes up to sound of drone strikes against city, buildings damaged in blast. Let's check in on our people over in Russia, man. So this is a Daily Mail article. It reads, Russia's capital was hit by a wave of drones Tuesday morning, prompting the Kremlin to complain, apparently without irony, of a, quote, terrorist attack. Moscow's war in Ukraine made itself felt at home again this morning as a wave of drones attacked the Russian capital with air defenses taking on what are described to be at least 8 unmanned aerial vehicles. Moscow's mayor said citizens woke up Tuesday morning to the sound of explosions across the city. Now, the Russian Ministry of Defense officially claims to have disabled or shot down the whole attack, although several buildings in Moscow were damaged early Tuesday either by drones that stuck through Russia's defenses or by falling wreckage. The drone attack, which appeared to closely resemble the now almost nightly drone attacks launched by Russia against Ukraine, was a Kyiv regime terrorist attack. Moscow thundered as they revealed the incursion. Ukraine, for its part, stuck to its usual policy of officially denying involvement but expressed pleasure at seeing it happen. Russia's account of the attack states of 8 drones, 3 were downed by electronic countermeasures and 5 by anti-aircraft fire. State media released a flurry of statements on the attack in the hours after the blast, insisting that there were no casualties and no hospitalizations and that the city's airports were operating normally this morning. Damage to buildings in the city was, quote, minor, the official statements insisted. Now, let's move over to CNN, where they're reporting on this as well. This headline reads, Ukraine denies involvement in Moscow drone attack, saying that Ukraine has denied direct involvement with a drone attack on the Russian capital, Moscow, on Tuesday. Quote, of course, we enjoy watching and predicting an increase in attacks, but of course, we have nothing to do directly with it. Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolak told the Breakfast Show YouTube channel. He also said, quote, what is growing in Russia is the karmic payment that Russia will gradually pay in aggravated form for everything it does in Ukraine. Now, I think we should also check in with Lindsey Graham. This headline reads, Lindsey Graham offers fiery response after Russia issues warrant for his arrest. See you in The Hague. Now, Senator Lindsey Graham, who's a Republican out of South Carolina, came out swinging after Russia issued a warrant for his arrest on Monday, challenging Russia to make its case before the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. Russian officials announced a warrant for Graham's arrest after the senator accused Russia of war crimes in Ukraine and said U.S. military aid to Ukraine was, quote, the best money we've ever spent. Graham made the comments in a film meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. He now says that he will submit to the judgment of the ICC if Russia offers to do the same. Quote, here's an offer to my Russian friends who want to arrest and try me for calling out the Putin regime as being war criminals. I will submit to jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court if you do, Graham said on Monday, followed up by, quote, Come and make your best case. See you in The Hague, he added. Andy, what do we got on this?
Well, I know everybody likes to, be pro-Ukraine, say all this stuff, but shouldn't we be asking where the footage is of Vladimir Putin saying the things that he says?
Allegedly.
Well, I'm just saying, we don't see it. They don't show it here in America. They don't show speeches by Vladimir Putin. They don't show what he's saying. Can't find it really on the American internet. Why is that? Maybe that's the first question we should be asking ourselves. Because what you would know if you didn't live in America is that Vladimir Putin has been agreeing that he would stop his attacks and agreeing that he would stop shelling if the United Nations would investigate Ukraine for the biolabs and the United States' involvement in the biolabs regarding the release of COVID-19, which, by the way, Vladimir Putin believes is one of the biggest crimes against humanity in the history of Earth.
Hold on, Andy. I thought COVID-19 came out of China.
Yeah, well, apparently it didn't.
Wait, and the UN said that they would not investigate Why would they do that?
I don't know. And why wouldn't they show the messaging that he says on? Why wouldn't they show him saying the things that you guys say that he's about? The media says that he's about. Why would they not show him? And by the way, they're sending, all of these hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. They're sending all of our military surplus to Ukraine. They're inflating our dollar to do so, which decreases your buying power, hurts your household. And while they're doing this, let's keep in mind that the president of the United States and his son have traditionally had massive business dealings in this country. They've hidden a lot of the business dealings that they've had, and in fact, bragged about it on TV. Okay. George Soros was involved in the overthrow of the actual government. I don't know, 8 years ago?
2014.
Yeah, 9 years ago. Okay.
Somebody also helped him with that.
Yeah, I think his name was Barack Obama.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so people don't understand what's been going on, and they get caught up in this pro-Ukraine social movement, war fever shit. And what you don't realize is that not only are these people trying to cover up for the crimes that they committed, they're willing to destroy your household and your life to do so.
I mean, what other narratives have they gotten you guys to stand behind and believe in?
That turned out to be total frauds.
Just covered one in the intro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
what about Black Lives Matter?
What about that $90 million gone where?
And by the way, Black lives do matter, but so is everybody else's life.
For sure.
And Black lives aren't going to matter to everybody else the way that everybody wants them to matter until they matter to actual Black lives.
1,000%.
All right. And that sucks. Okay. But these social movements that are propagated by our media and they pay social media influencers and Hollywood celebrities to post this shit to seem virtuous so that you'll just go along with it without asking any questions. But I would really like, if we're going to be fair, I think we all believe in fairness, right? Without calling each other names and saying, hey, you're a this or a that or a this. Don't you think it's fair to hear, at least hear both sides of the argument and maybe consider the fact and ask the question why they don't allow Putin's narratives to be told on national television or in the media or on the internet here?
Everything's without context or
Why?
just one or couple of sentences, right?
Why would that be? Would it be maybe that if you actually heard what he was saying, that would actually poke holes in their entire narrative and make you think differently about your own leadership?
Who else did they censor like that? Didn't they censor like frontline doctors doing the same exact thing?
Well, they didn't just censor them, bro. They put them in jail and they removed their medical license for saying that COVID-19 could be treated with hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, both of which turned out to be true.
Actual things.
Okay. And these people one of them, I think it was Simone Gold, spent time in jail for saying this. How many lives did that denying of that truth cost over the course of time? They all knew it to be true. The science that it treated this disease existed for many years before this. So they knew it to be true and they denied it and they deplatformed and delicensed and hurt every single person that tried to defend it. And you guys keep playing into these narratives over and over and over again. And you have to come to the realization that these people do not represent you nor care about you. They see you as a nuisance. They see you as an insect. They see you as a parasite that they have to deal with. And their interests are their interests. And our interests as American people do not matter. That's why we live in this country where we are legitimately oppressed and sold the idea of freedom. You guys think we're free. We may be freer than other countries, but we are far from free, and we are far from what the founding fathers of this country designed it to be. The idea of America is a really great idea, and it works perfectly when executed by the people for the people. The problem is it's no longer executed by the people for the people. It's executed by the tyrants in opposition of the people.
For the tyrants.
Yeah, and if we have Memorial Day just a couple days ago. My grandfather died in World War II right after Normandy. He's a fucking very young man. Never met his dad. Never met my dad. Never saw us grow up. Nobody's visited his grave in 79 years. Okay? Bro, what did these people die for? We have to start asking ourselves the truth. Did they actually die for freedom? I believe they did. It's just, dude, it's frustrating, man. And you guys need to wake up to what's actually happening. At least ask some critical thinking questions.
No, it's imperative, man. I think another point too that like just further proves this whole idea of Vladimir Putin, right? Is that because Vladimir Putin has had numerous of reasons and opportunities to destroy this country if he chose to, right? And I believe that he understands that there is a difference. That he understands that there are two things, two separate classes that are going on. You have these tyrants, and then you have the American people, who, in general, overall, are good fucking people. They're humans, right? And I think by him, showing that restraint and not just, completely decimating this fucking country, he understands who he's actually fighting. And I think that's the only thing that's holding just pure chaos on our own soil right now from Russia is him understanding, though, that fundamental point there.
Well, I actually agree with you. I mean, this man runs a Christian nation. He understands that a lot of America is Christian. He understands that as a Christian, you're not supposed to kill Christians or really anybody. All right. And we're dealing with a situation of provocation. Like these little drone attacks, like what do you think they're actually trying to accomplish here? What have I been saying for the last couple of years they were going to do? Start a big war. Okay. And they're going to come up with a massive distraction to keep Trump out of office any which way they can. If he ends up being the nominee, we're going to see a massive war, or we're going to see another pandemic where they try, or some other sort of distraction that will shut the world down so that this dude cannot disrupt their power base. And Lindsey Graham is a fat little turd, okay? And y'all in South Carolina need to find an actual person that represents who the fuck you guys are. Seriously. Because this dude ain't that.
No.
This guy's an establishment fuck. He's bought and sold your country and your state, and he's beating the war drum. Well, then you go over there and fight it, bro. And send your kids, by the way, too. And send your whole family tree to go fight it. All of them. All you guys beating the war drum, send your fucking people. This fat, disgusting politician who sucks as a human being, who has no care in the world for any of us. This man has the power to send your sons and daughters to die for covering up his crimes and the things they've done and their monetary interests.
And make money off of it.
Dude, and then you think about what they're doing to the country. Like, they're destroying the country, bro. They send all our weapons over there. They're sending look at what's going on in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Denver, St. Louis, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, Atlanta. Let's go down the board, bro. Crime, nonstop. No rule of law whatsoever. Violent criminals being let out. Our currency isn't worth what it was 3 years ago when we had the best economy we ever had in the history of the United States. You can't buy as many things now. Your mortgage has gone up how many dollars?
At 7.8% now.
Listen, man, these people are guilty of real bad shit, and they don't want to get caught, and they're going to do anything they can to not get caught. And they know that if Trump gets in, there will be accountability, and they will burn the motherfucking world down to keep that from happening. So you should prepare for that.
It's real shit.
It's going to get way worse here. if he, listen, if Trump ends up being the nominee, which I believe that he will, they are going to burn this country to the fucking ground to keep him out. Just understand that. And a lot of you guys say, well, then we shouldn't have him as the nominee, blah, blah, blah. Well, you have to ask yourself a question. Would you rather have tyranny and this corruption for the rest of your life, or would you rather pull the Band-Aid off and rebuild shit the way it's supposed to be? Something to think about. Real talk. So, and by the way, you guys, I said on the last show how I felt about these jokers. I don't fucking like them. Okay, but we have to have people who do not represent the establishment, because just like I said a minute ago, it has to be for the people, by the people. It cannot be the elite running the people, which is what we have right now. Selling us this idea of freedom when we're not even free. We pay most of our income, we pay to the government, dude. We can't own shit without paying them. When you add up all the taxes that you pay on your income, plus the taxes you pay to buy stuff, sell stuff, keep stuff, that's more than half of your income. And they tell you you're free? You're far from free, brother. Far from free. They sold you freedom and you believed it. We're not free. We have a long way to go to be free. Freedom would be saying, okay, we're all going to pay part of our income, like 10%, and the government's going to spend it responsibly in our interests to make the best possible country that we have. That is far from what's happening.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to be raising debt ceilings and shit.
How much different would your life look if you only had 10% tax to pay? What about you guys? Would it look a lot better? Would it affect your bottom line? What about you guys listening? I think it would make a difference for everybody. And you have to ask yourself, well, why do they tax us so hard? Why do they do that? Well, the reason they do that is the same reason they feed you poison in your food. It's the same reason they feed you poison for your mind on TV. It's the same reason they tell you that every single thing that they do is good for you, when in reality, every single thing that they do for you does a bunch of different things, which has caused you to be a less surviving human being. Makes you stupid, makes you sick. Like, they're making an eternal customer out of all of these people by creating a situation of dependency and then getting people to cheer for it. Like, it's a great thing.
Govern me hardy, Daddy.
And it's funny because those people think they're the radicals. They think they're the revolutionaries. Like, you're the revolutionary? Look at you, dude. You're sitting on your couch. You're consuming mindless television and social media. You're eating like shit. You're sick because you're eating like shit and you're taking their drugs. And you're fighting like you're the anti-establishment. Dude, you are the establishment. You're the reason they exist. And people say, oh, personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. What's that mean? It means, dude, you're in the matrix. And if you break out of the matrix, they don't have any power. It's very simple. So they want you fat, become fit. They want you broke, become wealthy. They want you sick, become healthy. They want you brainwashed, unfuck your brain. It's this very simple concept. The better we are as individuals, the less they can oppress us.
It's a fucking fact, man. Guys, that was our first headline. Let's move on over to headline number 2. Headline number 2 reads, authors of LGBTQ plus book pulled from Target speak out. Oh, this is a good one. So creatives behind the products in Target's LGBTQ plus Pride range have spoken out as the retailer continues to recall more products amid a backlash. Ash and Chess, which designed a series of products for the Target range, said its products had been removed, quote, due to threats from domestic terrorists. Hey, Andy, that's us.
Sure is.
They said that in a statement released on Friday.
That's a domestic terrorist battle cry.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow, meow.
Yep. So,
I was thinking while we were talking about this, just back on the meow, meow. Vegans should be the biggest patriots of them all. Like, you vegans out there, you should be fighting for this shit as hard as anybody, because if shit gets bad enough, we're going to eat all your animals. If you really love them that bad, you should become patriots and stop pushing this liberal shit that's destroying our country. Just being real, dude.
Yeah, man. Vegans against communism. It's what we need.
It is.
It's what we need. I'll be a vegan for that. Just for a little bit.
Well,
because, hey, line's right about here. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Mine's a bubble. All right, go ahead. So back to the gay stuff.
Yeah, who is gay? So Ashley Malesso and Chess Needham, who run Ash and Chess, they wrote a children's book titled ABC Deconstructing Gender that has been caught up in the controversy. Target has faced boycott calls from conservatives and threats to its staff after it displayed a range of merchandise to celebrate LGBTQ plus Pride Month in its stores, such as rainbow-themed clothing and LGBTQ plus friendly accessories for infants and children. One item that has drawn particular scorn was a one-piece tuck-friendly swimsuit aimed at transgendered women, which provided
Dudes.
yeah, right. It was aimed at transgendered women to provide extra material to cover up the penis. While some argued that the range was contributing to the indoctrination of children, others said it is positive for young LGBTQ plus people and allows them to express themselves through clothing. Now, here is the official statement from Ash and Chess. It says, quote, "We are saddened to say that the majority of our collection has been removed from Target stores due to threats from domestic terrorists. Emotionally, we do not currently have the bandwidth to comment further on this. We appreciate your support and love. Queer and trans people exist in the past, present, and future, and we are stronger together. We love you all."
Except you domestic terrorists.
Except for the domestic terrorists.
that don't want their kids to see this stuff that we write.
Right,
So fuck those people and their kids, because their kids are ours.
right.
Let's just
We'll convert your children.
yeah, remember that?
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, and it also at the same time too, it comes out that the Target, one of the Target vice presidents, he was a board member for this K through 12 transgender advocacy group. This is a Breitbart article. So it reads: Target shareholders lost $9 billion in stock market value because the C-suite mixed its professional duties with its personal agendas, including advocacy for transgenderism. The poster boy for this high-risk policy is Target's vice president for brand marketing, Carlos Saavedra. He moonlights as a board member of an advocacy group for K through 12 transgenderism and gay status. The group, titled GLSEN, is an acronym chosen by the teachers who'd formed the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network in 1990. Now, Target website says Saavedra, quote, leads Target brand stewardship and campaign development for initiatives including holiday, back to school or college, Target Run, discovery, inclusive marketing, and digital and social engagement. Andy, what do we got on this nonsense? First, can we address the domestic terrorist call? Why do they really get their stuff pulled?
Well, it's certainly not because anybody's an actual domestic terrorist. The domestic terrorists are the people who are pushing their own personal views that belong in conversations for adults on little bitty kids. And common sense parents that just want their kids to have a childhood and not have to have conversations about transgender or confusion of gender. Kids have it hard enough, bro. They're trying to figure out basic stuff. And we're talking to them about, like, not we, but they are talking to them about things like, oh, well, because you wore your mom's high heels through the house, you must actually be a girl. And we're going to call you Stacy instead of Steve. All right. People have a problem with that. And that shouldn't be too hard. It shouldn't be too hard for anybody to comprehend or agree with. In fact, most of the gay community agrees with it too. And that's the thing. Gay people, lesbians, bisexual people, that's a different thing than the rest of the fucking alphabet that they attach after that. Okay. And most of those people fought very fucking hard to have the rights that they had. I believe the first gay marriage was in like 2004. So it wasn't even that long ago that these people weren't even allowed to live a regular life. And the danger of what's happening here, and this is another division tactic via the communist agenda that's being run right now, is that they're actually making good, regular American gay people who just want to live their life and be like everybody else and be cool, like all the ones that you're friends with or I'm friends with, seem like the enemy. And it's working because we're seeing more and more gay and lesbian hate. We're seeing it from the far right. And that's not cool, man. Like, everybody deserves to have their freedom. That's what this country is about. This is not a country of just your beliefs. Part of freedom is you have to understand that some of people's way of living is going to not rub you the right way. Okay. There's going to be disagreements on philosophy, but as long as they don't intrude on you and you don't intrude on them, it's supposed to work properly. But what's happening here is we have this trans element of the, and by the way, there's actual trans people that are very normal human beings as well. But these are not the people who are running this shit and pushing it into people's lives the way that they are. I mean, bro, how many videos of like men have we seen dressed up with like lipstick and shit being like, look how hot I am.
Yeah.
Look how sexy I am. Bro, you're delusional. Like, I hate to break it to you, you have a mental problem. And we used to put people like that into institutions because they were disruptive and dangerous to society. And they're proving to be dangerous again because they're forcing their ideology into people's lives via their children. And these people actually believe, communists actually believe, and they've said it openly. Joe Biden said it. KGB said it. Okay. They say this. America's children, they're not your children. They're our children. That's a communist ideology. And they mean it. They have every single right to indoctrinate your children to believe their agenda and not your own teachings. And if you teach them anything outside of that agenda, you're a quote unquote domestic terrorist. You're a quote unquote white supremacist. I just saw a fucking article this morning where they said the rise of Latino white supremacy.
I saw that.
Listen, motherfuckers, this has nothing to do with white supremacy. You guys just use that to shame people. And guess what? It's not working anymore. Nobody cares. Call me whatever the fuck you want. I'm not going to be quiet about this. If I was going to be quiet about it, don't you think I would have shut up by now?
Right.
Like, it ain't going to work, bro. You call me every name you want, show up my house, do whatever the fuck you want. You'll get hurt.
Yeah.
But like, dude, we're not stopping. Nobody's stopping. You're not going to do this to the kids. It's not going to happen. It's fucking over. And y'all should retreat before it gets dangerous. And by the way, this thing, I'm going to say this too. Do not let these extreme people in this movement make you hate actual gay people and stuff. Like, dude, that I've been seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it with white and black too.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of people on both sides of that conversation be openly fucking disgustingly racist.
Isn't that the point though, right?
It is the point.
Like,
Well, remember what they call these people.
Yeah. You sweetie.
They play on your emotions. They get you hyped up. They force you all these things to divide when in reality, bro, common sense and love and unity is what's going to prevail here. It's what's going to fix the problem. Okay. So we can't look at like the LGB community and say they're the fucking problem because, dude, there's entire communities of these people that are united to defend this. You could go to the internet and look up gays against groomers. There's an entire community made up of gay people that are like, hey, we're not with this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Those motherfuckers belong in the wood chipper.
Right.
Like, dude, their movement has been infiltrated by pedophiles. Okay. And now they're trying to normalize the pedophilia. They're calling them minor attracted people.
Well, isn't that weird how they can call us all the names, homophobic, transphobic, domestic terrorists, but we can't call them pedophiles? Isn't that weird?
What do you mean we can't?
No, I'm saying like oh, don't call them pedophiles. We're minor attracted people, right? But here's the other thing too.
Well, I'm going to call you fertilizer.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay. You're not fucking with the kids, bro. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. No one's going to allow it. It's not happening.
No.
And it's not very long before like these pedophiles are going to end up decapitated on their fucking front porch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, if the police won't do anything and the FBI won't do anything and society's going to force this shit and it ends up with kids, bro, people will die.
Yeah. Well, I think that's another, there's an important thing here too, right? It's like, there's no, LGBT alphabet community. Like they didn't approach Target and say, hey, Target, put this in here. And I think it's a super, because they did the same thing with the BLM, right? Like when the BLM clothing were in all of these stores, like none of these people are actually pushing for this stuff, right?
No,
like,
dude, look, most of the gay people, I'm going to read you a couple posts from the Gays Against Groomer, okay? This post was made regarding Memorial Day. It has to be said that it is absolutely atrocious that our quote unquote community gets an entire month and now season in many cases dedicated to us, while the brave heroes who gave their lives to defend our nation get only a single day. We don't want the month. Give it to them.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Where's
the Memorial Day section in Target at?
Dude, if you celebrate Memorial Days, people call you a domestic terrorist. If you fly the flag, bro, you're the part of the domestic terrorism. They've villainized the flag. Look how many years for the last, like before this shit really started, people started waking up, right? I think people are really waking up now. But look how they've made the American flag appear to certain people as their flag, but not other people's flag, right? Like they've made a large part of the black population believe that that's not their flag, when in reality it is their flag. And all those veterans that they're talking about here, they died for you too. Okay, the problem is y'all keep voting for the people who come in every single year who are the actual racists who make laws and policy and do things to damage your community and intentionally cause crime, which causes you the deaths of your relatives, friends and family members. You don't have a safe community. You don't have the funding for your schools. And they come in for 40 years and tell you they're going to fix it, and then they don't fix it. What that tell you? That tells you they want it, okay? Because if they fix it and they come in, they're afraid you won't vote for them. All right? So, like, we have to wake up to what the real racism is. The real racism is not saying a word. The real racism is not, silence. The real racism is silence to the actual racism, which is the Democratic Party and the play they've run on the black community for the last 50 years. And nobody wants to say it, but it's true. Okay? When you come in a community for every fucking 2 years, for 60 years or 50 years, and you say, it's the white dude's fault, we're going to fix it. And then you go in and you don't fix it. And in fact, not only do you not fix it, you take the money that was meant to fix it and you funnel it back to yourself or you funnel it to your friends, and nothing happens in the community. And then you allow prosecutors who don't prosecute crime to allow these violent criminals on the streets to hurt your family and friends. They let the gangs run the streets, okay? And these people do this intentionally. So, like, what's the real racism here? The real racism telling a joke about black people, or is the real racism actually creating a situation where black people die? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been taught to look at the wrong racism. Look over here.
We've been told.
Not over here.
Yeah,
bro. And then getting back to this gay thing, Gays Against Groomer. Here's another post of theirs. Okay. Telling a child they need to transition to feel happy is literally teaching them to hate themselves. That is evil. That is wrong. That is something everyone should be against. No child is born in the wrong body, and adults should be teaching them that they are perfect exactly as they are. This is the representation of most of the gay community. So please do not start hating them. They're fighting the same fight.
Or lump them into this group. Yeah.
You guys have to carry that. I'm talking to the gay community. Yeah. You guys have to carry that torch, dude. Like, you have to be the most vocal people against this stuff if you don't believe in it.
100%.
And if you do believe in it, I challenge you to go look at the pictures. Go find pictures of the surgically transitioned human beings on the bottom part. All right, go look at the pictures. They're hard to find. Why are they hard to find?
Why wouldn't they want to show you that?
Well, probably the same reason they don't show you Vladimir Putin anything he says. Okay, it's very hard to find pics of it. And if you go watch and you look at pics of it and you actually take a minute to think about it, you'll start to understand what's really going on.
I think I do love myself a little bit, actually.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
This is really bad stuff, dude.
Yeah.
And it's happened before, by the way. I've said this many times on the show. And a lot of you guys get really mad at me when I say it. But this is actually what happened in 1930s Germany. Nobody talks about it. It's the Weimar Republic. Okay? Total degeneracy. Total removal of standards. Total demoralization of society for the effect of destabilization. All right? That's reality. That's what's happening. And we need to be smarter than the fucking movements that they keep pushing into our faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So shit, guys, let us know down in the comments what you think, where you're at, where you stand on this issue. And with that being said, let's move on to our third and final headline, guys. Headline number 3. This is some major breaking news for you guys. Headline number 3 reads, Republicans to hold FBI Director Wray in contempt of Congress over Biden documents. So this just came off, hot off the press. Article reads, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is taking steps to hold FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress after the Bureau notified the panel it will not comply with its subpoena related to a possible criminal scheme involving then Vice President Joe Biden. Comer, who's a Republican out of Kentucky, has subpoenaed the FBI for a document that allegedly describes a criminal scheme involving Biden and a foreign national and relating to the exchange of money for policy decisions. The document is an FBI-generated FD 1023 form. Comer first subpoenaed the document earlier this month. The FBI did not turn it over and instead explained that it needed to protect the Bureau's confidential human source program. Comer set another deadline last week, giving Wray until Tuesday, May 30th, to turn over the document. After the deadline was set, Wray set up a call with Comer for Wednesday, May 31st. However, the FBI notified the panel it would not provide the document to the committee by the Tuesday afternoon deadline. Quote, today, the FBI informed the committee that it will not provide the unclassified documents subpoenaed by the committee, Comer said Tuesday. The FBI's decision to stiff-arm Congress and hide this information from the American people is obstructionist and unacceptable. Quote, while I have a call scheduled with FBI Director Wray tomorrow to discuss his response further, the committee has been clear in its intent to protect congressional oversight authorities and will now be taking steps to hold the FBI Director in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with a lawful subpoena, Comer said. He added, quote, Americans deserve the truth, and the Oversight Committee will continue to demand transparency from this nation's chief law enforcement agency. The document is being sought after a whistleblower approached Comer and Senator Chuck Grassley out of Iowa, alleging that the FBI and the Justice Department were in possession of it and that it would reveal a precise description of how the alleged criminal scheme was employed, as well as its purpose. Comer attempted to, quote, narrow the breadth of the subpoena in response to the FBI staff criticisms. The committee determined, quote, additional terms based on unclassified, legally protected whistleblower disclosures that may be referenced in the FD 1023 form. The terms included June 30th, 2020, and $5 million. The back and forth between
What do you
Comer.
think that $5 million means?
Oh, it's $5 million for the big guy, right?
What's that mean?
That,
Talk about that in a second.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. So I did some digging. I looked into. Oh, and by the way, the FBI. This is their stance that they've maintained. Quote: the FBI's mission is to protect the American people. Releasing confidential source information could potentially jeopardize investigations and put lives at risk, the FBI said in a statement. The FBI remains committed to cooperating with Congress's oversight request on this matter and others, as we always have. But not this. We're not going to do this one.
Whose lives are going to be put at risk by this?
Yeah, whose lives? It's a great question, Andy. And of course, the White House has maintained that the president never spoke to his son about his business dealings and has continued to say that the president was never involved in them. Officials also say the president has never discussed investigations into members of his family with the Justice Department. Now, I looked up penalties for contempt of Congress and penalties for violations. It's a misdemeanor. It includes a fine of up to $100,000 and a jail term of 1 to 12 months, which requires prosecution by the Department of Justice or the U.S. Attorney's Office of the District of Columbia. This means a contempt citation may be a purely symbolic gesture if the DOJ or U.S. Attorney decides not to prosecute. However, there is precedence where Congress does have the power to actually arrest it. They can use the inherent contempt power of Congress, where the offender, after being cited for contempt of Congress, is tried on the floor of the chamber of Congress, invoking the power. If a majority affirms the contempt charge, they may instruct the sergeant at arms to arrest the offender and detain them until they comply with the subpoena or until the end of the session. Given the extraordinary nature of congressional detention and its lack of constitutional clarity, it's often seen as a last-ditch and unlikely effort. Andy, what do we got on this?
Well, I mean, we have apparent proof that a vice president of the United States is making deals for apparently millions of dollars in exchange for policy decisions. For whom? What countries? For what interests? It doesn't take much to deduce when you look around at some of the decisions being made, stopping oil production, opening the border, allowing crime to run rampant, allowing disgusting, evil ideology to be pressed upon children, allow the education system to fail. It should be pretty apparent what's actually going on if you have any common sense whatsoever. You have a guy who by all accounts and all evidence, appears to have been taking large sums of money for policy decisions that are not in the interest of the American people. And he's funneling the money down through his son and the rest of his family members. They actually convinced 51 intelligence officers, whatever you want to call them, to sign a piece of paper that said the information contained on the laptop that has all of this data that we're talking about was fake and just Russia disinformation. Now that's known to be a lie. It's also known that the Russia collusion with Trump in Russia was made up by these same people. We have an election that was controversial, would be like the most mild word that you could use for it. All right. A lot of people don't believe it. I'm one of them. Okay. I remember when Barack Obama ran. You can't tell me that shitty pants Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama. Okay. I believe the election was highly manipulated by many different means. And actually that's proven now, because if you want to talk about what actual manipulation is covering up disgusting stories about people who sell policy decisions for money to protect their reputation so that you will vote for them. That's election manipulation.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's just one way they did it.
Yeah. And so if he's taking money from China and that comes out to be true, they should be worried about lives being in danger. But it's not our lives. That's what I think. And that's why I think they're lying. And I think that these people in the FBI, who are the good, hardworking, patriotic Americans that actually give a fuck, I think the time for you to stand up to this shit is probably way past due. Because at this point, you're complicit.
Leak it.
Tell the truth. Stand up to the leadership. These people, now we have 3-letter agencies withholding information from the American public that we would all benefit greatly to know.
People don't understand how serious, like, they have direct evidence that this president is compromised and they are refusing to release it.
Accurate.
That's treason.
That is treason.
That's sedition. And I mean, we said the swamp is fucking deep, man, but like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Remember what I said about the environmental activists? These people believe they're doing something virtuous. They believe they're doing something that is right and good. And they believe that whatever they do and whatever action they take is justified. Up to and including literally stealing an American election. Okay? Shutting down the economy. Force vaccinating all kinds of people. And then weeding out all the patriotic Americans from the police, the armed services, every single segment of society, villainizing white people and anybody who believes in patriotic America as domestic terrorists or white supremacists, causing all of this division, making our lives fucking suck, okay? Ruining our buying power, allowing migration, promoting crime, promoting backwards ass shit, like telling kids they can be girls and boys when, they're girls and all these things, okay? And they're doing this, why? Why are they doing this? They're doing this because they are being paid to do so. And these people value money and security over the patriotic duty, what we talked about, which is by the people, for the people. These people are, by definition, traitors. This is traitor shit. And when I think that they say, lives are at stake, I actually think they are talking about their lives. Because I think if Americans understood that our president was being paid by other countries who are paying him to make decisions that are in the interests of those countries and not in the interests of us, and then sending all our money overseas and stealing it back to themselves with campaign contributions and sending all our weapons, depleting our oil reserves, doing every single thing strategically possible to weaken this country, and they knew that this dude was taking money for that, what do you think people would do?
Yeah, we'll see what Congress, like, so they got a few options. So I mean, we'll see what what comes of this, man. It's new, it's still developing. Just happened today, so I mean, we'll see what comes of this. We'll keep you guys updated.
This is not run of the mill politics.
No.
Like this is that's what allows this to continue. People think this is just a cycle of politics. No, it's not.
Yeah. But again, bro, when you look at how deep this is, right? Well, okay, well, who's going to press charges? It would be the DOJ. Well, shit, the DOJ is fucking corrupted. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, on every single facet, the only way this is going to get fixed is if the American people en masse demand accountability. That's the only way.
Yeah. And if you don't, you're not going to have anybody to speak up for you because they're going to come for people like me. They're going to come for you, and they're going to come from anybody that stands against them.
Once
first,
yeah.
This is the communist playbook. They come for the people spreading the anti-message first. And if you guys don't speak up, they will come for those people, and you will have nobody to lead for you. You will have nobody to speak up for you. Real talk. And that's when they start doing the real bad shit.
Because once they realize nobody's going to do anything about it, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything about that. Yeah, we'll see, man.
Very dangerous, dude.
Super dangerous.
Like there's, apparently you guys claim, because you hit me up, I'm in the FBI, bro. I agree with everything you're saying. Get those messages quite a bit. Well, y'all better do something, man.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Well, guys, that was our third and final headline. Let's move on to our final segment of the show. As always, we have thumbs up, dumb as fuck, where we show a headline and we get one of those two options. And with that being said, our thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads, sustainable till death do us part and 45 days beyond. Mushroom coffin, a last best wish for some. A little interesting, but there's a new thing going out there. And speaking of people's lives at risk, so let's go through this. This is a story from AP News out of the Netherlands. So this article reads, for those seeking to live in the most sustainable way, there is now an afterlife too. A Dutch intrepid inventor is now growing coffins by putting mycelium, the root structure of mushrooms, together with hemp fiber in a special mold that in a week turns into what could basically be compared to the looks of an unpainted Egyptian sarcophagus. And while traditional wooden coffins come from trees that can take decades to grow and years to break down in the soil, the mushroom versions biodegrades and delivers the remains to nature in barely a month and a half. In our 21st century, when the individual spirit can increasingly thrive way beyond the strictures of yore, death and funerals are...
Oh, so this is a new development.
It's a new development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Death and funerals...
Innovation.
Yeah. Death and funerals are all so often still hemmed in by tradition that may fall short of the version of the deceased or their loved ones. Quote, we all have different cultures and different ways of wanting to be buried in the world. But I do think there's a lot of us, a huge percentage of us, that would like it differently. And it's been very old school the same way for 50 or 100 years, said Sean Harris, a U.S. inventor in the Loop biotech company that produces the coffins. Bob Hendricks, the 29-year-old founder, decked in a, quote, I am compost t-shirt at a recent presentation, said that he had researched nature a great deal, quote, especially mushrooms. And I learned, I bet he did. And I learned that they are the biggest recyclers on the planet. So I thought, hey, why can we not be a part of the cycle of life? And then decided to grow a mushroom-based coffin. Moss can be draped within the coffins for the burial ceremonies. And for those preferring cremation, there is also an urn they grow, which can be buried with a sapling sticking out. So when the urn is broken down, the ashes can help give life to a tree. Quote, instead of we die, we end up in the soil and that's it. Now there is a new story. We can enrich life after death, and you can continue to thrive as a new plant or tree, Hendricks said in an interview. Quote, it brings a new narrative in which we can be part of something bigger than ourselves. So the coffins cost 995 euros, more than $1,000 each, and the price for an urn is 196 euros or $212. Here's a couple of pictures. Andy, what we ordering?
Man, you know what? Do you really care? Like, you really care what you're buried in? I don't give a shit.
I want to get dropped into the sea.
Huh?
I want like a sea burial.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Well, how's everybody going to come see you then?
I don't want nobody to come see me. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
So attach me to my motherfucking Harley and drop me in the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, dude. Well, these people are part of the group that I mentioned earlier. They should be the biggest patriots of them all because I promise you they're vegan too. Okay? Like, I'm down with your stuff. That's cool. Innovation. All right, got it. Be down with us. Like, stop perpetuating this crazy shit and realize that you're under attack and you won't be able to make your cool mushroom moss coffins if these people actually get their way. That's my point. I don't care where I'm buried, bro. I don't care.
Really? You don't have nothing like nothing? Yeah.
What difference does it make?
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a realist, dude. Doesn't make any difference. Eventually, we're all going to fucking die, and that's that. And it is what it is. It's part of the deal. I didn't make the rules. You know? So, like, to me, it makes no difference, dude. I mean, if you know.
I do know this. The funeral game is a fucking billion-dollar industry.
Yeah. It costs a lot to bury people.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a little bit of absurdity, if we're being honest.
For sure.
Okay?
So just
like
put me on
causing
mushroom.
families to pay $10,000 to bury their loved ones when $10,000 is like more money than they've ever had in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's absurd. So I can appreciate the cost effectiveness.
Yeah, for sure.
And I actually do think the tree growing out is pretty cool. Like, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You know? So
Come
kudos to
back as
these
an old
guys,
maple.
entrepreneurs, capitalists, saw a need, inventing a product. Totally get it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But just remember, if we lose this fight, I'm eating your fucking cats. Meow.
Guys, Andy, that is all I got, man.
All right. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.